Jacob's Grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Now, I am not making light of people losing their homes, but they had 25 years to find a solution. Whether that means complying just a little bit with the state or figuring out different things. Well, quote unquote, dirty hippies have lost their 25-year battle to save their homes after their community was deemed a 12-acre biohazard. A California commune filled with quote-unquote dirty hippies is closing down after losing a 25-year battle with local government. The so-called Yeehaw commune is a 12-acre makeshift settlement in Trinidad, California, a remote seaside town with a population of about 300 residents. Now, its supporters said the commune's longtime owner, Garth, provided a makeshift option to combat Trinidad's steep housing prices. About 10 people currently live on the commune. Now, critics said that Yeehaw has posed a biohazard risk because of lack of fire, carbon monoxide detectors, electrical hazards, wooden stoves without flue, and unsafe structures. Now, they slammed Garth as irresponsible, claiming he had 25 years to improve the settlement's conditions. Now Yeehaw is set to shutter after Humboldt County Board of Supervisors, which oversees Trinidad, voted to abate the settlement. Rex Bond, Humboldt County's first direct supervisor, said on September 23rd that it's time to do the right thing and clean up the property for the area. Yeah, it does look fairly unsafe. Again, you can do very sustainable, very Mother Earth friendly kind of upgrades that would have, yeah, because this doesn't look like a fire hazard. Like even myself, who doesn't understand fireology, is going to say that this is not a good thing. He added in exasperated tone that we've given 25 years of enforcement code trying to get Garth in line. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again with the same result. Now, photos previously captured Yeehaw and showed the community consisting of makeshift outhouses made from plywood and buckets. Containers of human waste were spotted with illegally constructed homes. And, John H. Ford, Humboldt County's Director of Planning and Buildings, said that last year Garth owed $63,000 in fines, penalties, and administration costs. Now that amount is estimated to be around $100,000. The commune has been granted a 9-month compliance period in January, but failed to do so. So let's look through these pictures. This is Garth, as we can see. This is the community. Again, not all of this takes much time. You can build outhouses that are sustainable. They've got the maypole and a train car. They had 25 years to deal with this. I simply do not understand. Now, Bond explained nothing has happened. This is not about who the neighbor is. It's not about housing. It's about the rules we've got to stand by. The drama surrounding Yeehaw began in May 2001 when Humboldt County officials served the settlement with his first abatement notices. It's discovered that most homes were lacking, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Look at this. Do you think these people have smoke detectors? No, these people don't. Like they're shocked. Like the hippies don't have smoke detectors. They're not solar powered. Oh my God. Not to mention hippies, even if they are battery powered and you think that they're, destroying the earth, they will tell you when a fire or a carbon monoxide is there for these little people right here who are innocent in all this. Now, at the September board meeting, Garth pled for more time. He said, I need a new deal. Come on, guys. I'm doing the right thing. Your director has already stated numerous times there's no way to build affordable housing. I can build affordable housing all day till the cows come home. I can build it. Just let me do it. I've seen your work, sir, and I'm going to RSVP no for you to join me on Trading Spaces, okay? Now, Yeehaws shuttering could have been complicated by the fact that the commune is now under new ownership of Evergreen Nonprofits, which is headed by Garth's son, James. Now, the company was established in 2022, according to state documents. A letter signed by the Humboldt County Planning and Building Department that was viewed by the Daily Mail listed James A. Garth's address as Eureka, California, about 23 miles from Trinidad. Now, Garth transferred the property to Evergreen Nonprofits on February 26, 2025, per a quitclaim deed viewed by Daily Mail. Now, Evergreen Nonprofits was represented at the last board meeting by Alan K. Ing, who is listed as the company's financial officer. Now, he identified himself as a long-term member of the community with a career in land management and construction. We've recently taken ownership of the property known as Yeehaw, and we're fully aware of the difficult history and serious water quality concerns. Now, Ing claimed that Evergreen Nonprofits had done water testing, removed metal, and was making a plan to get everything in better shape. An unidentified member of the community also spoke to board supervisors to make his case for Yeehaw and its longtime owner. Charles is not made for bureaucracy. He's taken everything you've told him to heart. More than half the people have left. He's cleaned up and cleans up often. Now, the unidentified man also accused Humboldt County of having no accommodation. The man's trying his best. He's just not trying it like you expect him to from someone who knows how to go through the bureaucratic process, but he's just unaccommodated. Your inability to work out the bureaucratic process is not my fault. I can feel sorry for you, but then you should have, if you know you are lacking, then you hire someone. That's why people have accountants. That's why people have tax, and inheritance accountants and all of these things. If you don't know, you can hire people whose only job is to know these things. Now, Steve Madrone, the 5th District Supervisor that represents Trinidad, where Yeehaw is located, said, I've gone to bat for this community my entire 6.5 years as a board member over and over again. Promises keep being made, but then they don't get fulfilled, and there are limits to our ability to trust and believe things are going to happen if we give more time. Now, Madrion also added, I'm always concerned about housing. Yeehaw has been housing for a lot of people. As someone said, regardless of the code issues, it's still a whole lot safer place to be than out on the streets. And I don't think anyone would disagree about that, but it doesn't mean we can look the other way. Now, one tenant of Yeehaw, who's been living there for 6 years with her family, said she knows the outside perspective, they look like a bunch of dirty hippies, but that she values her community and the cabin she lives in. Now, renters in Humboldt County need to earn an average of $24.46 per hour, 5 times the California national, or the 1.5 times California's minimum wage to earn the average monthly asking rent of $1,272. Now, it was estimated that 6,015 low-income renter households in Humboldt County do not have access to affordable homes. Meanwhile, the rent around the country has gone up by about 21% in the last 5 years. Let people build more houses. You have a scarcity issue. You aren't allowing any new houses to be constructed because of all of your regulations. This is a low supply, high, again, it's supply demand economics. I cannot explain this to you, but you should have had, 25 years to fix this up. And at some point you have to put the foot down. Well, for $32, you can surf on top of, Times Square. I caught a wave in the middle of Manhattan and didn't even get my hair wet. Instead, I spent Sunday morning on a rooftop of Margarita Resort in Times Square, wobbling through a surf-inspired workout on a custom balance board that's designed to mimic the motion of the ocean. After hours of pup-ups, duck dives, and plenty of wipeouts, I was actually more ready to paddle straight into the bars later. But a week later, I can't stop thinking of how much fun it was to hang tan on the heart in the heart of Midtown. Again, if you have $32 and would like to surf, pretend surf, that's fine. I don't think you're going to catch Mo doing this, is all I've got to say. Now, through the end of October, you can catch the surf and shore workouts at Margaritaville. It's a free pass for hotel guests, though the public can pay about $32 to attend. Our classes are interval based, so there is a hit impact or element to them, but they teach people how to move in their own pace, incorporate elements of strength training, Pilates, and yoga in a functioning way. I am not doing this. Look, these people look so incredibly dorky, and I know I would too. And there is something really redonkulous about wearing socks to pretend to go surf. I can't with this. That being said, if this is your jam, you can look into this, but I'm looking at it like, what in the Walmart Rapture? That being said, if it's your jam, go surf on rooftops. It's a great idea. Well, in things that I hope never happen to me ever again, not the appendicitis. I was rushed to the hospital with an appendicitis, but gave birth to a baby boy. Okay. A British woman who believed she was suffering from an appendicitis was stunned when she gave birth to a baby boy inside the back of an ambulance. I was speechless. I couldn't believe what had just happened, said new mom Megan Isherwood, 26. I had no bumps, no symptoms. He just came out of nowhere, as they do sometimes. Now, Isherwood said she woke on the morning of September 9th, suffering severe pains in her right side, and soon began vomiting up blood. Realizing that her situation was very dangerous, she called for an ambulance. Now, paramedics arrived and checked her over, assuming she was suffering from an appendicitis due to the pain on her right side of her body, along with her high heart rate and nausea. Now, she was taken to the local hospital for further examination, but the situation quickly escalated in just a scotch. Isherwood was prepared to be seen by her doctor when blood began gushing out of her, soaking the bed. 15 doctors were crowded around trying to figure out what was wrong, said a Blackburn resident. They called to do a CT scan as well as an ultrasound to rule out pregnancy, but that's when they found a head and a foot. They blue lighted me to a nearby Burnley hospital as they have midwifery. Now, Isherwood was unable to make it to the next medical facility in time, giving birth in the back of the ambulance with several paramedics on hand to help with delivery. I just needed to push, and the next thing they told me was, "Congratulations, it's a boy." I was so shocked and flustered I couldn't believe what had happened. However, Isherwood's amazement turned into panic when medics realized that the little boy was pretty blue and had stopped breathing. Now, they did manage to resuscitate the premature infant, who Isherwood named Jackson, before they arrived at the hospital. Both mom and son were taken to the NICU, where they both were diagnosed with sepsis, but thankfully both of them made a full recovery. Now, on September 25th, she was able to take her surprise baby boy home. Well, that's good. She believes that the father is not a man that she's in a relationship with. I'm struggling to get my head around what's happened. I was thinking to myself, where did you come from? Despite being taken by surprise, Isherwood immediately took to being a mother and says she's overwhelmed with feelings of love for baby Jackson. He's doing amazing and he's a miracle. I mean, she's not a large woman, but he's not a large baby. I was noticeably pregnant. Like, you could not ignore me. And ladies, I wouldn't try this. This looks like a great way to get tension headaches and, really make your hairline recede. The bleph bun trend is fueled by celebrities like Ariana Grande and Anne Hathaway and is the free way to get an eye lift and a new face. Yeah, having super tight buns to the point where they stretch back your, like, "I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille." I mean, it just, no, it doesn't look right. That looks painful to me, but if it's your jam, it's your jam. Now, slick back buns and ponytails have long been a fashion, staple, particularly among other communities who have popularized the protective hairstyles. Now, the straightforward updo with a clean girl aesthetic is serving a new function, becoming a way to give people a new face. Now, Allure has dubbed the phenomenon the bluff bun, a bun so taut that it's similar to effects of an eye lift. Tight buns and ponytails can redirect brows and eye corners to a different angle, as well as smooth out crow's feet. Okay, I have never seen crow's feet on this chick. Like, I don't care. Also, I don't give two rats rah-rahs about my crow's feet. I'm getting older. I'm getting closer to being a grandma. I'm kind of okay with it. I feel more in touch with myself, more the person that I was supposed to be at my current age. And I'm loving it. So I don't understand why you want to look like you are 20 again. You couldn't pay me to go back to how dumb I was in my 20s. And I say that knowing that I had my kids in my 20s and I was dumb as a box of rocks. I'll take my crow's feet. It means I've laughed. It means I've smiled. It means, you know, I've lived a life and the happiness is on my face. And so is the pain. But I walked through all of this. I don't understand women. Other women are the meanest, most ugly, judgmental people. Don't dress for them. Dress how you feel, for love of all that is flippin' flapjacks. If you want to wear a tight ponytail that makes you look like you're fighting physically against the pool of your hair, that's fine. You do you. As for me, I'm going to be fabulous and just do me. Yeah, I can, some days, I can't wear my hair in a ponytail because it literally hurts. So if this is something you would like to do, then that is fine for me. But I'm kind of done with taking everyone else's advice about how I should feel about my own daggone body. I will do what I want, I will wear what I want, and I will honor the life that gave me. Okay, not grace. Y'all, I'm not doing that. I am saving up to go get my red revamped. That's the only concession to, vanity that I will make. But, that's just the ridiculousness of everything. Well, a plane was forced to land after a wacko wearing 15 masks screamed that gay people were giving him cancer. Alex Jones' whereabouts cannot be confirmed right now. I'm just kidding. I was like, wait a minute, is this Alex Jones? A New Jersey bound plane was forced to divert after an unruly passenger wearing over a dozen face masks began ranting that gay people were giving him the big C. The Sun County Airlines plane left Minneapolis for Newark Friday morning, but cut its trip short and landed in Chicago after the wacko's ravings escalated into screams of, "The plane's going down." Yeah, let's get him off. A fellow passenger, Seth Evans, was sitting across the aisle from the nut and told the Minnesota Star Tribune that the chaos started the moment the plane took off, when he began ranting and raving about being gang chased by the gays. As you do. The man also screamed that he was being radiated and cooked by the gay. Gaydar doesn't work that way, sir. It's more of an internal gas than microwaves. Make asylums great again. Now, perhaps to stave off the supposed, microwaves and radiation, he was wearing no less than 15 masks over his mouth. At one point, the man even announced that Trump was on the plane. The screaming, deluded conspiracy theories was not all that the man was good for. In between each outburst, he would buckle down and play a round of Candy Crush before standing up and mouthing off again at top volume. Well, Candy Crush is important. The game was over, however, when his declarations were made about the plane maybe not landing safely. Once on the ground at O'Hare International Airport, the man was handcuffed and hauled off by Chicago police. Passengers were questioned by the U.S. Marshals before the plane took off again and completed its journey to Jersey. The flight landed without incident, and the passenger in question was turned over to local law enforcement and removed from the aircraft. So, yeah, don't do this. Also, I don't think the gays have access to microwave powers? It's not like mutants. For the love of God, did he watch the X-Men and figure out that they were like mutants and they had a special power, like upon knowledge of their sexual proclivities, they get special powers? I honestly wouldn't mind having a conversation with this man, but he obviously needs some mental health issues because what? Now let's see. If the disturbed man was actually allowed to board while wearing 15 masks, the airline needs to revisit its screening policies on who gets